about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Daliah, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to y'all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So I think we're on day, 22 into the shutdown. And, there's been a lot of back and forth on should President Trump get involved? Should the Republicans just, work to, negotiate the Obamacare issues that the Democrats are having, which is, by the way, their fault. I mean, the reason why we're in this mess, in terms of the stupid subsidies is because the Obamacare bill was a ridiculous one. And, it's interesting because people are hurting, not getting paychecks. We're going to be coming into the holidays soon. These TSA workers need to get paid. And the Democrats are thinking that the Republicans are going to cave. The Republicans are thinking the Democrats are going to cave. And, I'm actually against us negotiating Obamacare subsidies during this shutdown. I think that sets a bad precedence. I'm a fan of single item bills. If we need to open up the government, it's only 24 pages. I like simple bills. It's something that everybody has agreed upon. It's bipartisan. All right. It simplifies things. This is how we usually avoid a lot of shutdowns. And no, I know it seems like we get a shutdown all the time, but if it's a bipartisan bill that everybody seems to agree on, including the Democrats, and it's something that they've voted on, it starts to simplify the process of continuing resolutions. But Schumer and Jeffries and all that are suggesting that now they hold the line that the longer this goes, it helps us. I don't know who us is, if not the Democrats. And it starts to add other elements to it. So what the Democrats want to do is take this time while they can hold up a government that they are the minority in temporarily. They get to hold up the government and say, you know what? Let's use this as a negotiating ploy. I want us to talk about the big, beautiful bill. I want us to talk about Obamacare subsidies. I want to talk about, funding for illegal immigrants or whatever. Well, I think that sets a bad precedent. The continuing resolution funding for the government is just that. And once we start to, give in to this extortion of, okay, they're going to hold America by the cojones unless, whatever they want starts to get negotiated in, that could be dangerous. The whole reason why we have a continuing resolution and we do is because it's supposed to be separate from all the other drama that we have throughout the year in the legislative sessions, because the government funding needs to be separate from that. But what Chuck Schumer wants to do is use this as an opportunity, not to mention an opportunity for him to be able to, get, political cred, with those that are, leaning more towards the progressives, because he's got an election coming up. And so as much as I want the government to reopen and I don't want Americans screwed over this, I don't think it's very realistic and practical to start negotiating for things that should not belong in this particular vote. And if the Republicans say, look, we're all voting to open the government, we're just waiting for the Democrats to vote yes. I mean, we're offering another vote. Come on. And the Democrats are like, yeah, but we want to talk about this, and we want to see Trump, and we want to talk about... You could do all of that after the government's opened up. I mean, let's get back to business. But they think they're not going to have the president's ear. They think the only time they have the president's ear is now. So should Trump get involved? Some GOP think that Trump needs to get involved with this. I mean, I remember I told you kind of needed to back off of the rhetoric of, well, then, we're going to start cutting Democrat, led agencies and things like that. You don't want this to be retaliatory. You don't want to have that look. What I would rather it be worded as is, look, the money's running out. So we need to take money from one department to fund another. And since our TSA and our military are pretty damn important right now, we need to take funding from, I don't know, whatever, USAID or whatever they're doing, because this is taking precedence. It just, the shutdown shouldn't be going on this long. And I think once Republicans say, you know what, yes, we'll go ahead and start negotiating Obamacare, I mean, that could go on for months. To try to fix the ACA, which was a really crappy bill, with the exception of the pre-existing condition clause and the covering physicals, the rest of it, I mean, it destroyed our healthcare system. And now we're paying insurance companies for ridiculously high-priced insurance plans. Tell me why that was a good idea. But this was under Obama, Pelosi, and Sebelius, Kathleen Sebelius. This wasn't even a Republican thing. So, eventually, the Democrats will have to sign the CR. Because Republicans have, I think, sent the message. I know the Democrats are like, well, the Republicans won't negotiate. They won't whatever. This is all this is to sign a CR that's 24 pages. And all the Republicans signed it. And it is the same CR the Democrats have signed before. So the onus is really going to be on the Democrats when their constituents are like, look, we got Thanksgiving travel coming up. Come on. Let's just open up the government, and then you could try to negotiate Obamacare and all the big, beautiful bill stuff you're upset about later. Because the Republicans are like, we're not keeping the government closed. We signed it. Here's all our votes. We all signed it. Here it is. I mean, I guess they're missing 5 Democrats. They just need 5 Democrats to get their act together. So as much as I don't want this to be a standoff, I think the Republicans have done all they can do. And then any sort of negotiating for different legislation is going to have to be addressed in different in a different forum. 1-877 Doc Daliah, don't go away. Hey guys, it's Dr. Daliah. Fantasy football season is coming, but sadly, too many of you are taking the bench while the country takes part in one of the most exciting and lucrative industries out there. Don't know how to play? Well, huddle up and listen. Paul Kalikas and I have written a fantasy football pocket guide for beginners. This book walks you through the basics and shows you how simple and lucrative joining or creating a fantasy football team can be. Read our fantasy football pocket guide for beginners found on Amazon or follow the links on X and Facebook. That's fantasy football pocket guides for beginners. Don't be left out.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Let's face it, guys, we're living in times where the truth is becoming more suppressed and censorship is increasing at an alarming rate, especially on social media platforms. It's Clyde, and I want to tell you about a safe and secure digital playground we put together just for you. It's Aftermath.media. You get access to thousands of Ground Zero archives and podcasts, along with our private social media groups with your basic membership starting at only $7 a month. Each subscription includes tech support, access to the RSS feeds, along with our own chat room and Telegram channel. In addition, the premium membership includes research study groups, webinars, a document and movie library, a live video stream of Ground Zero, a monthly Zoom chat with me, and other bonus content. Be sure to check out our yearly specials as well. Sign up today while you're thinking about it. Sign up at Aftermath.media. Again, that's Aftermath.media.
Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Dali, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So a woman fell and tripped in a Target parking lot and has been awarded $11 million. Now, before somebody goes, oh man, what a faker. No, I think her case is valid. So this is being reported by The Independent. And this happened in Florida. She actually fractured several bones, was initially offered $250,000. Her attorneys, advised her, now we could get a little bit more than $250,000. She ends up being awarded $11.3 million by a jury. The 44-year-old was given $11,391,183.28. That 28 cents is important. After taking a tumble at a super Target in Winter Garden, which is an Orlando suburb. This happened December 23rd, 2019, during the busy holiday season. She was carrying her daughter through the Winter Garden Village shopping center, going in between cars and traffic and puddles. And she passed a landscaping island, and she tripped over a seam where the asphalt met the concrete gutter of the curb. This is a section of the parking lot that had a notable and abrupt change in elevation. Apparently, it violated several building codes. After stepping on the uneven surface, her left ankle twisted and fractured. She starts falling over, but she's trying to save her baby that she's holding, which we moms have done. And when you try not to fall and balance yourself and prevent the baby from hurting themselves and getting hurt, you sometimes get yourself in a pritzled up position. This caused her, when she did fall, to break her right tibia, fibula, and lateral malleolus. The unidentified woman was represented by Morgan & Morgan attorneys Matt Morgan, Fan Lee, and Perry Nava. They're the ones that helped her turn down the $250,000 pretrial settlement offer. And an Orange County jury found Target was 90% at fault and awarded the woman the multi-million-dollar payout. Now, by the way, if that fall caused her to sustain a bunch of those fractures, I would recommend that she get her parathyroid checked. Not thyroid. Well, thyroid, always get your thyroid checked, but her parathyroid, as well as her vitamin D. I do always suspect some underlying osteoporosis when somebody sustains multiple fractures from a fall. They wouldn't change the jury award. You know, she fell because of uneven surface, but a young mom suffering that many fractures from a fall, I wonder if she has an underlying condition that's leaching calcium from her bones. So I would suggest she get checked for osteoporosis, vitamin D deficiency, and parathyroid issues. Just an aside. Now, the fall took place outside of a super Target during the holiday season. Excuse me. The Independent asked for Target to give a statement. They didn't. But you hear these cases of trips and falls, or like the McDonald's case where somebody burned themselves on the coffee and won, multi-millions of dollars. I talked to a lawyer who worked on the McDonald's case. The reason why it was kind of a slam dunk for the person to be able to sue McDonald's was the coffee was so piping hot, and McDonald's has standards. And apparently that particular McDonald's had been warned multiple times that the coffee was too hot. Well, then they're sitting ducks for a lawsuit if they hurt somebody. And so, when you are a franchisee, or you are a manager or an owner of one of these, if there are building codes or things that are not abided by, a lawyer is going to find them. You might be thinking, I don't know what the building codes are. Are you kidding me? I'm just supposed to be figuring out the bottom line. It's a busy Christmas season. I'm just making sure people aren't getting trampled. Trust me, when an attorney, and this isn't, being negative about attorneys, this is what they're paid to do. Where they are supposed to glean through every possible piece of evidence and any possible angle going, okay, there's an issue with the asphalt. Is there neglect? Was there malpractice? Was there lack of following city codes. It's kind of pretty standard that they would look at that. And so if that Target was not doing what they were supposed to do, somebody could get sued. Now, slips and falls, I had some listeners who said they had a slip and fall, couldn't find a lawyer who would take it. Well, it's interesting. Lawyers will take cases that they think they will review the case. I'm actually seeing some doctors doing this too. I remember I needed to refer a gastroenterology case to a gastroenterologist, and they asked what the insurance was, what you're starting to get some people that are now being more picky about the cases they take. But, if you fell and, there was, they look at, where you fell and, what extenuating circumstances were, many slip and fall cases will not give you an $11 million payout. And one thing I'm worried about is that a case like this, somebody could be like, wait a second here. Stores are distracted around the holidays. If I could become a millionaire just by breaking my ankle, trust me, there are people that set this stuff up. And what's also very frustrating, and that's fueling that type of bad behavior. And in this case, this is not in relation to the plaintiff on this one. This is a case which I think was a slam dunk in her favor. But you have patients that'll do this to doctors or do this to business owners where they know they'll get a settlement. And if they bring up a lawsuit, rather than the doctor or the company going through years of expensive litigation, they're like, you know what? I'll save money just paying the couple $100,000. Thank God I have never been sued. Nobody's ever asked for a settlement, whatever. I've, done a fairly, good job making sure that every single thing, that happened to my patient was the best possible outcome. But I've seen this with doctors where somebody gets a scar after a procedure and they're like, well, I want to sue the doctor. And then it starts going down this lawsuit and their malpractice insurance company's like, you know what? They want $30,000. Just give them the $30,000. You'll save yourself the money. And the doctor's like, but I don't want this on my record. I didn't do anything wrong. She smoked. She didn't take care of the wound. This wasn't me. And there's a pressure to settle. And I would want to fight it to the core, but that gets expensive. It's like when you play poker. Oftentimes you could win if you have the money behind you to outlast the other players. And I've played hands that I probably shouldn't have, but because it looked like I had the extra money and I'm like, you know what? I got the bandwidth for this. I was able to get other people to fold. But then there's been some hands I've had where, I went, in terms of like charity chips and not my own money, but I'm already 2,000 in charity chips in. And I'm like, you know what? This person has more guts than I do and more money. I just can't do it. I'm out. So, if the teaching points to this is, if you are getting ready to go, shop for the holidays, which I am going to also talk about in a little bit, understand that there's a lot of hazards. Look at what happened with Walmart with that security guard getting killed and trampled on. Okay, you need to understand that there are hazards. You also have to understand that many other companies are not doing their job. You expect that these other companies are making sure that everything is to the utmost safety. They might have the will, they might have the good intentions, but some people are getting metal shards in their food. Some people are getting peanuts when they have peanut allergy. You have poor roads. In fact, I posted this picture. I was at a shopping center. It's a very common shopping center, busy one in my neck of the woods, where while you're driving down the parking lot, there's parking places. Somehow, this parking lot had painted parking places in the middle of the thoroughway. And so I post this saying, guys, be careful. Now, most people that go to the shopping center know it's a mistake, but imagine somebody, during a busy holiday season going, I'm going to park here. And you're just driving, and all of a sudden there's somebody that is just, I'm serious. It's supposed to be like not a street, but whatever, pathway for cars that you're driving down the road. and there's just all of a sudden parking places. And you see the road connect to a stop sign. So how are you supposed to get around these cars? It makes no sense. It's a mistake. So just be aware that not everybody is safety first out there. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
in many states, the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts. Due to a cleaner burn, there are less hydrocarbons and particulate matter in your exhaust. This reduces the blockage of your diesel particulate filter. Using Diesel Extreme generates 83% less DPF regeneration. The 6-in-1 Diesel Extreme formula also includes the most concentrated detergent on the market, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So today is October 22nd. And you know what I'm planning on doing the rest of this week or by this weekend? Christmas shopping. I am going to start my Christmas and Hanukkah shopping this weekend. Now, some of you will be like, okay, Dr. Daliah, it's not even Halloween yet. What are you doing? Well, I'm trying not to get screwed. That's why. Every year, I tell you guys how I am seeing the prices jump November, December. So it's my job to remind you because I always remind you too late. I go, guys, you probably should have bought this in October or September. So I want to have you guys think about maybe start looking at some of the prices of things that you think you might want to get your loved ones for Halloween, or not Halloween, for Christmas or Hanukkah. So it's interesting. There's a VR vest. Apparently VR is really, really big. You know, the Oculus, the MetaQuest, and these, are they called Hapta vests? Where I thought you would feel the punches, like when you do the boxing games, but I think you just kind of feel the sounds. And so apparently there's a vest that the list price was $299. That's going to be one of the biggest items to shop for. That's going to be one of the biggest. Remember when Nintendo games and Billy Bass, Fish Mouth or whatever? I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest things that is going to be sought after for this Christmas season are these VR vests. They're white and black. They're called Woojer vests, Woojer. And so the list price is $299. Well, I look and Target has it for $499. And I'm starting to see the prices go up. The $299 price was at Best Buy and was on other sites, and it was sold out. Finally, a week or two later, I could get one of these vests because my son likes to do VR, but now it's up to $349. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to get it. Now, he already has something similar, so we're actually going to return it. And it really wasn't exactly what, he thought it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be. And so we're returning it. And luckily, the company has a good return policy. Make sure you make sure you know your return policy. But mark my words. It was $299. Then it's $349. Target is starting to sell them for $499. Mark my words. Come Christmas time, this sucker is going to be more expensive. And I can't tell you how many times I have gotten screwed over waiting till the Black Friday sales and Christmas time to buy something. And, in these shops' defense, everybody's struggling these days. I mean, it's not easy. I understand that the economy is better than it's been in a while. And gas prices are going down, but still, I mean, people don't have the money that, especially since now things are just ridiculously expensive. So one of the reasons why they call it Black Friday is because companies would be in the black as opposed to being in the red. I'll talk about Black Friday when we get closer. There's a lot of different reasons why it's called Black Friday. It's kind of interesting, the Black Friday history. But this is the time of year when companies get to finally be in the black if they were in the red. And so I understand they're going to try to have these doorbusters and then get you in. And then now that you're a captive audience, you're going to be paying higher for things. And so I told you there was a bike when my son was younger. He really likes the Spider-Man movies and Tobey Maguire's original Spider-Man. So there was a bike. There was a Spider-Man bike. So I'm at the store and I went the day before Thanksgiving. So it was Wednesday before Thanksgiving week. And I asked the guy, the gentleman, to help me bring it down. He's like, why are you buying this? And I'm like, because I want to get it before Black Friday. The prices are going to go up. He's like, no, trust me. Come in at 6 a.m. I'll get the bike down on Friday. I'll get the bike down for you. I'll be here. Just get it on Black Friday. So I left. I came back 36 hours later, 6 a.m. Not only was the bike gone, because he probably wanted it for himself, but all the bikes were $20 more. I was so livid. Now, I'm not saying all stores do this BS, but for those of you going, well, I'm going to buy my kid this, I'm going to buy him this, I'm going to buy, hubby this, wifey this, you might want to take a look at the prices now, and you might want to consider shopping now. It's just something that I would recommend. Another thing that I think also is I really, really like gift cards. I always kind of worry that it doesn't look like you're putting a lot of love into it. And there's a bunch of different ways you could show love with a gift card. But the one of the best gifts people like are the gift cards, because they could use that at a later time. You have your name on it, so they remember you gave it to them, as opposed to just another box or basket of something that they might never use or eat. And so, and I struggle with this because I want to get them gift cards, but it looks like I want the easy or lazy way out. You could get a real nice card. You could decorate the card. You could put a nice poem, and you could explain, look, I wanted to get you, a gift that I know you would use because I know you like this, 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 and this, and personalize it, but I didn't know exactly what music I should get you or what I should, and so I know this is what this is what you like, and you could personalize it, and they're going to love it because it's like free money. And so for those of you who want to not, deal with all the lines at these stores, I mean, Costco, Sam's Club, you get gift cards, I think, at a discount. I think that is really, really cool. One of the coolest things with Costco and Sam's Club is the discounts. So pick a day when they're not busy, and it's not Christmas time and holiday shopping, and then go and get those. In fact, another thing you can always do is decorate. So like you could put it in a cute mug, then put some cellophane around it and decorate it and put some candy in it. Or you could put it in a, let's say somebody really is into gardening. You could get a little pot, put little paper in there so you don't dirty it up. Put the little gift card for Home Depot or whatever, wherever they like to get their gardening stuff. Put a couple things of seeds. You just made a really, really cool gift. Now, a lot of people are like, well, gosh, Dahlia, a gift card, you got to spend $50 or $100 or $250. Not exactly. A $25 gift card can still go a long way for, that could still be a huge gift. Even a $5 Starbucks gift card can still go a long way. And if you're like, oh, God, I got to give them something $25 worth, but then get a mug, a really cool mug, put different types of coffee in it, have different flavorings, things like that. And then as an extra little gift in there's also a gift card. And I mean, you could turn it into something that looks like a very, a nice gift that costs some money and you actually saved. So I come up with a lot of different gift ideas. Tell me what your budget is and email me at drdaliah.com, DRDALIAH.com, and I'll try to do my best at giving you guys ideas. But, maybe think about this weekend. Now, I know there's a lot of Halloween sales and candy and all that, but, also stores will sometimes lower their pricing, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the non-shopping days, and be prepared for surge pricing. What a lot of companies are doing are going to AI or going to automation, where rather than somebody putting another sticker price on something, where it's going to be digitalized, where if they think the surge is rising, the prices will be able to go up digitally. And it's all based on the code. And it's going to take a while for companies to have the little digital markings of what things cost. Online, they can already do it automatically. But in brick and mortar stores, it's going to still take a little while. And so, understand that your search pricing is going to usually be higher on the shopping days, the weekends, and Fridays. It's funny. People used to work on Fridays. Now, many people don't work on Fridays. So Fridays can be more expensive. One of my kids is looking for a used car to trade his car in. And he was going on the weekend. And I'm like, no. If you're going to look for a car, go Mondays or Tuesdays. If you're going to go used car shopping, Mondays or Tuesdays, because there's fewer people shopping, the salespeople want to, make their quota. And so they're going to be a little bit more willing to make a sale. Another thing, too, is you got to look at certain times of the year when they're getting new inventory and they get rid of old inventory, and also when they have to make their numbers or their quarterly numbers. So when you know that calendar, you know that they're going to be a little bit more incentivized to make the sale, then you might be able to work down the price. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, don't go away.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit, and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99-799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99-799, and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99-799. Again, FREE to 99-799.
Dr. Daliah here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out. All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, 1-877-DOCDALI. So one of my listeners asked, what is the best way to approach the topic when your child asks you if they think they're transgender, gay, etc.? And so, your doctor can give you advice. I always find that conversation just already an amazing one, in that your child feels comfortable talking to you. So that already means you're a good parent. The fact that your child feels comfortable talking to you about that is fantastic, because there's a lot of kids out there that can't feel like they can talk to their parents. So first of all, well done. There was that recent study where there was data from the University of Buckingham showing that the share of college students identified as transgender has now halved in just the last couple of years. And so transgenderism is not supposed to be as fluid as, it depends if transgenderism is being equated to gender dysmorphic disorder, or if it's being, I am going to be who I want to be, and I'm going to be rejecting the girl boy genders that society gives us. And so, when you have a child, as I said, that comes up and says, look, I don't know if I'm supposed to be a boy. I don't know if I'm supposed to be a girl. That, first and foremost, that's actually very common. It's very common for kids to wonder that. I told you I was 3 and I pee on myself because I'm standing up in the bathroom and I go, Mom, and my mom was livid. She goes, what? Because now there's pee all over the floor, pee all over my clothes. And she's like, what the hell were you doing? And I go, I was peeing. She goes, you're supposed to sit down. I go, no, Daddy doesn't sit down. And I'm going to be like Daddy. She's like, no, Daddy's a boy. You're a girl. I go, I'm not going to grow up and be like Daddy. She's like, no. Now, remember, I hated my mom. So I found this news very distressing. And then my sister marches up. My sister was 6 years older than me. She marches up and goes, and you're going to get boobies, so you won't run as fast, and you're going to bleed every month. Well, as a 3-year-old, I was like, are you kidding me? I don't want to be a girl. Oh, hell no. But I bring that up, and now I'm very glad I did want to be a girl. I'm glad I am a woman. I ended up marrying my husband, ended up being able to have kids. So I'm blessed with what God gave me. But not that uncommon for kids to go, wait a second here. Okay, why can't I be like Daddy? Why can't I be like, why can't I do this? Why can't I be like my brother? Why can't I be like my sister? So that's not, it's not uncommon. When it is starting to get rare and concerning is when a child is like, I'm in the wrong body. I'm not supposed to be in this body. I'm supposed to be in that body. Why do I have these? I want to tear it off. A body dysmorphic disorder or a gender dysphoria and gender dysmorphic disorder or dysphoria disorder can be very, very mentally challenging. And people really, really struggle. And you want to get them help and you want to get them support because you don't want them to live a life thinking they're in the wrong body. Unfortunately, politics got in the way and said, well, we'll just fix you. We'll just make you a girl. We'll just make you a boy. Snip, snip, cut, chop, chop, infuse hormones. And now we have a bunch of people detransitioning because it's hard to do. And as I've said, in earlier shows, when you transition, it's not a one-time deal. Like, oh, I'm just going to get a nose job or I'm just going to get my boobies done. I mean, you have to maintain the hormones aggressively, expensively. It's a big commitment, not a commitment a child can commit to and understand the ramifications of, which is why I don't recommend children transitioning. I think it's barbaric for them. And to promise them that they'll look like, Beyonce as a girl or, I don't know, John Cena. No, it's not realistic. As an adult who wants to transition, all the power to them. I support them. But for a child, no. So if your child does come up saying, I don't think I'm supposed to be a boy, I don't think I'm supposed to be a girl, you want to have that conversation going, okay, well, why? What is it? Why don't you think you should be a girl? Well, I don't like wearing dresses. And I don't like Barbies. I didn't either. I really didn't like playing with Barbies. And I really didn't like wearing dresses. So I'm with you on that. But girls don't have to play with Barbies anymore. Girls don't have to wear dresses. Oh, really? Yeah. You can wear whatever you want. Now, what if it's a boy? And the boy goes, but I want to wear a dress. I like dresses. Okay, why do you like dresses? Is it because you think they're pretty? Is it because you're getting hot and these jeans that you're wearing and these pants are uncomfortable? Is it because then you get to be in the girls' bathroom and not be bullied in the boys' bathroom? So you want to find out what the root is. One of the reasons why transgenderism rose and a lot of people started transitioning is you had a lot of people who were having mental health issues and depression. And somebody told them, well, maybe it's because you're living in the wrong body. So make yourself a boy or make yourself a girl. And the average person, it didn't help their mental health struggles. I mean, it takes a lot of work to try to be somebody you're not and go through all those hormones and all that. But for some people, it did help them. I have somebody in my family who underwent transitioning, and he is now she, and she says she's never been happier, and I'm really happy for her. But for some people, it didn't solve their issues. So when you do have a child that goes, I think I'm the wrong gender, find out what exactly is it. And is it that you think your life would be easier if you were the opposite gender, and why is that? Are you getting bullied? Are you getting beat up? Is it that you feel like you're failing, in gym, and the other boys are marginalizing you, and you want to be better at gym? You want to be. I mean, there's a lot of things that go wrong in school, and that people get bullied for, etc. And it's not just about wearing dresses and playing with Barbies, or being able to play with trucks and stuff. So it was interesting. One of my sons reminded me. He said, "Mom, when I was really, really little, I remember a conversation I had for you asking, how do I know if I'm gay or not?" And I go, "Really? I don't remember having this conversation." And he said, "Yeah, I had asked you, how do I know if how do I know if I'm gay or I'm telling myself I'm not gay because, your friends, make fun of you, etc." And he goes, "How does somebody know if they're gay or not?" Now, and my child was really, really young. So I was working, and I guess pretty quickly I came up with this. I was like, okay, well, you see there's Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Who would you rather kiss? Selena Gomez or Justin Bieber? Oh, Selena Gomez. I go, all right, well then you might not be gay, you might be heterosexual, but you're too young for that. You can't tell if that's who you are at this age. But he remembered that's what it is. I'm not saying that's a litmus test but that was a conversation looks like I must have had years ago, with nearly 20 years ago with my son. Because it's a question they'll ask. They're like, well, how do I know? How do I, they have, and I'm glad they have questions, and I'm glad they come to you. And so I was like, well, who do you seem more attracted to? When I have patients who tell me they have poor sex drive and they don't want to sleep with their husbands and they think something's medically wrong with them, I go, okay, well, if you saw Brad Pitt or, Denzel Washington or Michael Jordan or, does that kind of get, things, does that light a fire? Well, yeah, it does. So, do you think it's just your husband or do you think it's a general? And so, sometimes we do have to kind of ask, and consider another situation. But it's a much longer topic than I could do in a short radio segment. But if you do struggle with how to talk to your children about that, just talk to your doctor. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Don't go away.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.